Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is very special and it is a watercolor tutorial for fried egg. So in step 1 we are going to draw a simple outline, and for this I usually use a color pencil because when you use a normal pencil it leaves a black outline. Starting with the yolk, and I'm going to use this yellow and I'm going to apply paint directly onto the paper. Please keep tissue papers handy guys while doing this because I'm going to use tissue paper and a dry brush lot. So here you can see I'm picking up color with the dry brush that creates the highlights. Now we are going to see the edges of the fried egg. And for doing the edges, we are going to use the wet on wet technique where I'm just wetting the edges of this fried egg. You can take any shape, but you have to ensure that your brush is thin. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of brown with a lot of water, and I'm just going to drop in paint here and there. And keep this layer very thin, and don't create lines that you can see with the eye. Like, don't create you have to create abstract lines. So here I'm just going over the edges in a very abstract manner. As you can see, I'm not just drawing lines, I'm just taking my brush over and just picking up in between. So you can see that it is not a completely end to end edge, but yeah, it is not a straight edge. As you can see, this will give the egg a realistic effect when we are doing this in watercolors. So just use a thin brush for this one. I'm using just one brush and I'm just using it tip, absolute tip. If you have a thinner brush lying around, do use that. Now I'm just spreading water on the inside of the edge that we just painted, and now you will see that in the next step I'm going to use a lot of brown mixed with water. I'm just putting the paint on the water, so you will see that the paint is spreading wherever the water has been dropped earlier. Now as you see, it is very dark, so I'm just picking up the color with the tissue paper. Again we are going to go over this, but this time I have taken more paint on my brush and less water, and I'm just going around here and there and creating dark areas with the brown so that the edges start looking a bit realistic and a bit 3D. This is a important tip guys, don't do it overall. Like, leave some spaces that don't have dark edges. Have some spaces that are just light orange, mildly, just paint it very lovingly. Take care while painting this, don't rush into it. And if you don't get it right the first time, it's okay. This is not the first time I am painting an egg. I have painted this many times before, and this is the time that I have started getting it right. And that's why I made this tutorial for all self-learning artists like me. So once this layer is done, the next will be making the yolk 3D. So I am going to take the same yellow that I took earlier. I'm going to mix a bit of darker yellow in this, mustard yellow, and I'm also going to mix a little bit of red into this, crimson red that is, because I don't have orange lying around with me. If you have the orange, exact orange with you, you can use that all as well, but I prefer mixing colors rather than taking the direct colors because it creates a very visually attractive effect. Same way, I'm just picking up the color with the brush and the tissue paper. See how abstract the tissue paper creates abstract shapes. So here I'm just picking up color, and one side of the yolk I'm keeping it dark and the other side I'm keeping it light, because this is where the light source is, on the left hand side. You can move this around and do it on the other side also, but then you will also have to move the brown areas that are in the egg whites. So here I'm just picking up color and just judging it how it is going, and I think I'm happy now that one side is looking lighter. Now we'll give shadows to the entire thing, which is going to make it pop. I have taken very little amount of black and a lot of water, and I'm just creating random shadows. These are abstract shapes. I'm just picking up the color with tissue paper. You might ask, what is the point of putting down such light shade and then picking up a tissue paper? My answer to this is our eyes visually capture a lot of details that we do not notice at the first time, but it creates a very visually appealing effect, especially when you're doing realistic paintings, watercolor paintings. So I do this every time I pick up colors with tissue paper and create light shadows, especially when we are working with white areas like in this egg white. So I'm just putting color here and there a little bit, and when this dries it's going to look more lighter than this. So I'm just going over some areas again, and here I'm mixing brown and black, a little bit of black in the brown. This is going to give us a crispy burnt edge look on one side, because that is also one thing that people really relate with a fried egg, that one edge is always crispier, and that is a favorite amongst many people. So I have tried to do that as well. So I've used black and mixed it with a little bit of brown, little bit of black here and there. I'm picking up color as well. I'm doing the same thing on other sides, but I'm not doing it completely, because we need only one completely burnt looking crispy end, which we already have now. So I'm just putting burnt edges here and there with the darkened brown. So now, as you can see, our watercolor painting of this fried egg has looking started taking shape, and it has started looking more realistic. I'm just going over the edges with mustard yellow mixed with white, and you can see I have not drawn specific shapes here. I'm drawing abstract shapes. I'm not just focusing on the shapes here, I'm just focusing on the overall effect. Because when you're painting, especially the realistic painting completes and it is finally done, there is one thing that catches your eye in the entire painting, and the rest of it is, a blur. Now you can see here that I have made a mess, and I'm just covering up because I have to anyways paint the shadows. Now we are going to paint the pepper. Here I'm just covering up, as I told you earlier. For the pepper also, some bits will be smaller, some bits will be bigger, some will be clubbed together, a few will be sprinkled here and there, because that is how the pepper falls on fried egg when we do it realistically. So I've just put one tiny dot on the egg yolk as well. I didn't want to ruin it, and I'm just going over the crispy burnt edges, and I'm just putting a little bit of black there as well, because I know this is going to dry a bit lighter. So I'm just sprinkling the pepper here and there. Now for the last step, the yolk shine, that is the highlight for the yolk, which will make this look 3D. So first I'm going over and putting a tiny bit of white in the egg white, and then I'm going to give it a shine with this gel pen. Now since the gel pen is not giving me that effect, so I'm taking white watercolor paint on my brush directly without any water, and I'm just going over a few places with this color so that highlights are created, which makes this fried egg realistic and a bit of 3D look. I hope guys you like this tutorial, watercolor tutorial. I have done this food series because I love painting food in watercolors, and I love making this 3D looking, realistic looking food paintings, because I am a foodie myself. Here I am just applying more pepper sprinkled here and there, just trying to give it a finishing touch, and just looking at it from a distance, looking at it after a few minutes. That is how I complete my paintings. I just leave them for like 10-15 minutes and then get back to them, and then I realize that these things are missing, and that is how even after a day I feel at times that some things are missing, and I'll go back to them and I'll just put on more paint or remove some things from there. So this is my final fried egg watercolor painting, guys. I hope you like this video, and I hope this will help you paint better. I am a self-learning artist just like you guys, and so I like to share my learnings. So if you like this video and this food watercolor paintings series that I have started, do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and because your support means a lot to me. Thank you.